Angelo Sabiki Tonangia, Tajik Chuchin Jela, and Dim Gotu, the Enzang Chasalia, and the Giacoyagitolian, Chasantis Delicious.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm very pleased to see you all again. This is our first Saturday afternoon Dharma talk of the year. So the Western New Year was a little while ago now. The Tibetan New Year, though, was only a few weeks ago. So I want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and that it's a great pleasure to be here and to see you all again.
Carico Shurelana, Anzolia, Digi Yadi, and you, Ganasine, Dukure, and the Ganga Celia, and the Chiki, or Garimeva Sukure, Chiki, Didalia, and Shueche.
So today we're going to talk about how to accumulate the causes that lead to the desired results, the results of happiness. As well as how to eliminate the causes which lead to undesirable results, the results of physical and mental suffering. We're talking about this because I myself, I know everyone here, but actually all beings, whether they're here now or outside, or whether they're humans or animals, all share the same fundamental wish of only wanting to experience happiness. None of us wish for even the slightest form of mental or physical disquiet, let alone serious suffering. So therefore, we need to, in order to attain this desired happiness, we need to accumulate relevant causes. And in order not to experience any problems or difficulties, we need to be able to eliminate the causes that lead to such results. So that's why we're looking at that today.
Zayaru, Dunyaru, Dulo, Kayaru, Kare, Anzo, Kuegi, Chalaro, Shikanishini, and Chiguda and Kinchile, Yungurwatch, because Gumeva, Kindan, Gumevala, and Chihayungo Marwa, Benangas Kalaroshini, Kala Shimbushina, and the day Kala Shimbu, Gudan, Mahakure, and the Yaha Kore, and the Chigatina, she had the Dulo in and Anzo, Kuki, Pejutayaki, Chalaro.
This, the concept of cause and effect is a very important principle, because everything that we wish for comes about only if we have accumulated the causes. So, for example, everything that we eat, everything we drink, every object that we utilize or we enjoy, we can only experience them, we can only make use of them if we have accumulated the relevant causes and accumulated those causes entirely. So, for example, if we want to eat something, that requires an accumulation of causes. Moreover, if we want the food to be particularly delicious, then a greater number of causes need to be accumulated. And similarly, in terms of clothing or anything else that we utilize, a wide number of causes need to be accumulated in order to be able to achieve this wished-for result.
And the Niki, and Jiggy Chusopa, and the Niki, the Niana, the Yanga, the Gangas, Gugu Marwa, Sina, the Moya, the Niki, Moya, Rikiki, in there, and the good and King till I didn't to college, but the good and King, I am able to Yamana, to Yamana.
And this is the case also for the second class of experiences, those that we don't want to experience. So whether it is to have unfavorable circumstances ourselves, for example, to have financial or material difficulty, or environmental harm or conflict or illness. So these are all outcomes that we wish to avoid. So as to be able to avoid or to not experience these unwanted results, then we need to be able to eliminate the specific causes that would otherwise lead to these unwanted results.
Mambu go you chi to go mar bene xin da zi xin da me do jia la an zhe gu guo de sa gu guo de chu gu guo de an ji lung gu guo de cha sa de ne jian mambu ji zhong le de ne zi xin da me do de jie da yu dan jian le de zhu gu duo di zhong an cha sa da ne ding ye de xie ba de da cha sa di song an zhu ge cha sa ji ge ra ba ji ha gu du gu ba de gu gu yo ba de ji le gu ji le de ne gu yo ba de ha gu jian an zhu ge
This concept of causality or cause and effect. On a course level, this is something that everyone knows and everyone accepts and isn't controversial at all. If we talk about something like a beautiful garden, so this comes about independent on many causes and conditions, not just one. So on a course level, this we can easily understand. If it's a created garden, then it requires a skilled gardener, as well as natural causes such as fertile soil, water, heat, etc. So on a course level, we can easily understand how one thing depends on another, and not just one cause, but on a multitude of causes. Things being dependent one on the other, on a course level, this is widely accepted and isn't controversial. But in order to achieve a wishful result, then these causes, they need to be accumulated and be accumulated well, so of a good quality, and accumulated completely, so not just in a partial manner. Then the wishful result will come about. So this is easy to understand in examples relating to gardening or agriculture. Here it's very clear. And similarly, on the converse side, we can think about unwanted experiences that we have. And these we can, on a course level, we can quite clearly see they came about independent on causes. And similarly then with these unwanted results, in order not to experience them, we need to identify what causes lead to suffering or unwanted physical, mental unhappiness, and then eliminate those causes. Because it's through eliminating these causes that we won't experience the results. So this is something that's widely known and easily understood. So just to emphasize here, in order to experience desired or wanted physical and mental happiness, one has to accumulate those causes. And the better, the more strongly that one accumulates these causes, the greater, more powerful the results will be. And similarly, not wanting to experience any unhappiness, or physical or mental unhappiness or suffering, then this too comes from causes and conditions. And the stronger that we have accumulated those causes, the stronger and more intense will the resulting suffering be. So there, one has to also identify the causes. And if there are causes relating to wanted results, one needs to put energy into accumulating them. And if there are causes that have been accumulated that will lead to unwanted suffering results, those have to be eliminated.
And the nation that Lu Dewa, the same keyword, you got a lamna, you did so it's a goody, Gavalet in Ligore. In a Delia, Gabriela, the Lu Dewa, and then Yachi, Kalata, Deniki, Jumiki, Genjeva, Yungur, Genjeva, Yungur, in a very goody, you saw the Gavas at the little Ligore. Chesa, Manzo Dumayagi, Dumaya, Lu, Makiwa, Lu, Kamata, Semi Dumati, you saw the you saw the career in Mikawa selected the Kigore. Then I took a Lu Dewa, the same Kiwaki, you saw the garrison in Kawa said the Kiwacheta, Mansuki, Dewa Yaki, Udela, the Kiwa Yudi Kawa. So the Kawacha. The name I took Kama Tagi, you saw the Mikawa said. They took said the Dewa said the utility Kiwore, and that Gudi Moson. Just in Gudi Moson, that Gudi Ganes Meva Sobore, Ganes Dewa Gudi Ganes Tukure says that Kama Gudi Ganes Hore said, Dinidi, Tanzuki, Chiksea, and Chiktuki, Tapshi, Dan Jehovah.
What we've mentioned here in the last few minutes is that all unwanted experiences, physical, mental experiences, comes from causes and conditions. And similarly, all wanted experiences of happiness, whether physical or mental, these too come from causes. So then to identify what are the primary causes, so the primary cause of an experience of happiness is virtue. The primary cause of an unwanted experience of physical or mental suffering is non-virtue. So those are the primary causes. But that being said, there are many other influencing factors or conditions that also play into the particular result that is experienced. So if we look at something, for example, like food. So if we have an abundance of nutritious food, the primary cause of having this is a virtuous imprint, a virtuous karmic seed. But that's not alone. There are also influences in terms of the environment or nature, and these are also related then to karma, but they primarily relate to a virtue, or the primary cause is virtue. And likewise, if things are unwanted results come, there will be an interplay of a variety of other conditions, but the primary cause, that is one of non-virtue. So identifying, first of all, that wanted and unwanted results comes from causes and conditions, and then identifying that the primary cause of wanted happy results is virtue, and the primary cause of unwanted results is non-virtue. Then, having identified that, one knows what to focus on in terms of what causes to accumulate and what causes to avoid or eliminate.
ane shandaji patu never dance migo digor sentine mares migo de kan sungure labna da so susuge samlo tancho thone ungores susuge samlo tancho magic bithone ane migo ligore gewa se dia susuge samlo tancho thone mi du ungore jezang ha ju zo wang zu samlo tancho thone ungore jere.
The unwanted experiences of pain and anguish, whether physical or mental, that we experience, this comes from a cause that is non-virtuous. So what is this this cause that is this primary cause that is non-virtuous? So it's not what's a physical activity or perhaps something to do with nature or an environment. It's also not what someone has said. Rather, it is our way of thinking. So the primary cause of all our unwanted experiences is our own non-virtuous way of thinking. So it's from this as a primary cause that leads to the experience of unwanted physical or mental suffering. And the converse is also the same. All wanted, all desired happy outcomes or pleasurable experiences, these come from a primary cause that is virtue, not some physical or external activity, nor speech, but one's own way of thinking. So one's own way of thinking then also is what it creates the primary cause of virtue that leads to a desired, a wanted result.
Sanji Odijin Migueleta, Sanji Ma Sungche, and Denigi Jawati Jebaina, Delatene, and Mohobana, Kangaleki, Duhangaki, Denigi Guchila, and Miguala Gorwa. Geva said the Sanji Odijin, Gevare, says Sungje, and Dinganju Lalentaje, Yamslimba, and Mohoban di Jebu. Deoyaki, Deoyaki, Tella, and Gutilla, and the Kevala Gor. Says and Kevala and Miguel said, Savi Korongi, Chebu Dilla, Dumayaki, Kangayaki, Chiavan, could Miguel Charu. It's not that Sanji Ma Lundu Tembas, Sanju Sumba de Lundu Tembasicore. It's that Lundu Tembachilla, and the Korong and Jebu, Deva Momba and Deoyuna, and the Kevar Chatigora. It's and Kevala and Miguel said, Kevala said, the San Samru.
So, then what is considered to be virtuous and non-virtuous? Well, this is known through the Buddhist teachings. So, independent on Buddhist teachings, then one can come to understand what is considered virtue. In other words, what to engage in that will lead, what to engage in that accumulates the causes that lead to desired results of happiness, as well as what not to engage in, because if one were to do so, then that would accumulate the causes to lead to the unwanted results of mental or physical suffering. So this is known independence on the teachings of the Buddha.
And saw Juba said, Bene, then they saw Jubes, so Jen saw Juba. Then a Lugone, Shalia, and Loyam Jebada, and Lugon Shella Kumakua. Then the Kumakuna, the Negi Tisum de Mikawara said. I didn't ask that in yet the Sumation.
Di samlo tang tang kira chung ping. Samlo tang tang dan lu di do. Can go so. When the Buddha then presented what is non-virtue and therefore to be avoided so as not to experience unwished for results, suffering results, then these were divided in different categories. So in terms of physical behavior, then the Buddha taught that the activity that should be avoided in general is one should avoid taking life or killing, one should avoid stealing, and one should avoid sexual misconduct. So these are the threefold division of physical behavior to be avoided so as not to accumulate causes for future suffering.
And then Geshe Thubten In terms of speech, the Buddha advised that 4 classes of speech should be avoided so as not to experience unwanted suffering results. And these are where you lie, you intentionally lie or deceive others. And then secondly, to speak to others in a harsh manner. And thirdly, to engage in divisive speech. And then fourthly, in meaningless speech. So all this kind of chatter that really serves no purpose. So these were the 4 in relation to speech that he taught that should be avoided. Lohta said, and the lay could say, Yomare said, and the Sangi Yomare, Chu Yomare said, Lopa de Lohta said. Chisa Napsim Nusum Lohta said, this Sumje. The Domino the Jew, this Judil Miguel Jula.
In terms of a way of thinking or mental activity that the Buddha advised that should be abandoned, so first was the mind of covetousness. So this is where one desires what others possess. So this is to be abandoned. Likewise, the mind of harmful intent or malicious thoughts towards others. And then thirdly, that of wrong views. So wrong views here encompasses thoughts such as the attainment of enlightenment and thereby becoming a Buddha, not possible, no such thing. Cause and effect, no such thing. So these are included amongst wrong views. Then these 10 being grouped together with the 3 physical activities to be avoided, the 4 ways of speaking to be avoided, and the 3 ways of thinking to be abandoned, these 10 together are commonly called the 10 non-virtuous actions.
And the Devudi Kyo Chimaina Dunganyong, Devudi, and desolated legal Dungayong.
The dependence on engaging in these 10 non-virtuous actions, one creates the causes for suffering experiences to come about for oneself, but that will also have an impact on others. And these suffering experiences can be experienced not only in this life, but in our future lives as well.
Never leave the water, Lumbala Papa never. The Diwa in the Michisoe in the Lamsa and the Yendo with Jewish and the Chica, Timgana, Yamado, Shandaka, Just Kanga Chumodua. That Lumba Shanda Nina, and the Timga, the Lamaniela, the Mima Jews in the Yeda, Tasdania, Dung, there, Dora Deniba, and Yendo City, then the Yendo will teach it Dung, then they are Jangana. Dinner, my duty, never tell why that Dinegi, Gama was shoot that's a Rasha, Rada, Shen, Nigal, Ganga Teddy, as in the Sosuku, Sochi, Java, Teletine, or Tedele in there, Sosolia, Rasha, Nigal, Gama Dinigore, Digi, Jawachima in there, and Rangalia, Gama Ligore. The Piru, this one.
To give an illustration that's easy to understand, is if one were to kill someone else, to kill another human being. So this is, if this were done, clearly it's a non-virtuous act, and one can experience suffering from this in this very life. And a coarse form of suffering that's easy to understand is that if this were to be done in Australia, the police would investigate, they would arrest you, you'd go to court, be shamed in the eyes of your community and your loved ones, and have to spend a long time in jail, deprived of your freedom. If this was done in some other countries, then the results that you experience could be quite different. So in other countries, there's one can be attacked by a crowd and beaten by them first, then delivered to the police, who then also beat you. And then one still ends up rotting in jail for a long time. So from this illustration, it's very easy to understand how suffering from this activity comes to oneself in this life as well as to others, but also through the accumulation of non-virtuous karma, one will also experience suffering results in future lives.
Junxe Jackson she cohorta and million cohorta jenny, Chick Jevene, and Sosu Yesha Ran, Mikohorta, Midi, you never check, Sosu Night, you never check. On the nation down and Miguel Chubo di Chevena, and Teddy, Sosola, Makiva, the Shella Makiva, Jazan, Setela Samdana, Rashinigala, Lula, Dualigo, Sembla Dumate, or Jazan Sembla Gati, or Rasinigal, Dumaki, Gure. Jazan Digida, that Tebudi. Denigi Miguel Chuchi Tebu Delayana, did the Duma that sort of reason to I am Kiwachima di Tebudi, Kiwachima Line on the Tebumingo.
This is the case with others too, of course. So if one engages in deceitful activity, whether it's stealing or lying to others, then this kind of deceitful behavior, of course, leads to unhappiness for the person or people that one is deceiving or lying to or stealing from. And so, of course, we can clearly understand how it leads to unhappiness for others, but that behavior will also have results for oneself in this life, and that bring unhappiness for oneself in this life, whether physical or mental. And likewise, this behavior accumulates karmic seeds, which are experienced in future lives too. So the undesired results are experienced both in this as well as in future lives, and have an impact not just on ourselves, but on others too.
Dunga Yadi Gudi, so the Kareltin that the Migawa, Chutanga, Teletin Ligor. Says, did you would pa say who were a teller? They're seen in the Mevas word. The Meva Kashavina, Nanzuki, and Dumadi Lula Dumada, Semika Sadi, I never chagor. Says, and the Mevas Yoro. Says, and the Meva Jebala, and the Ganis Mevas Yore, La Yodu, that didn't get what you do. Said, in the Dima Mevasuna, and the Karchi was in Gehochu to Bukure. Gehochi is Yamlin Lalenta, Gehochu Yam Lalenta Vaina, D and the Rashu Yungmares, Migochu Yungmares. Then is Gehochu Lalenta, and Lule Tiki, Dewa, and Kiwi, Ditebu, Lule Dewa, and Assembly Kiwungores. Just not Ditebu Dewa, Lule, Sim and Tosho, Lule Midewa, and the same Gangan Mekiwadi, Mevacharo. 제가 이니기 이거 주 매봐서나 가든 냠는 제고를 개와 주념 쓸려고 우리 예절이다.
So when we're looking here at wanting to avoid any kind of physical and mental suffering and difficulty, then we've now just looked at the causes that, or the activities that lead to the accumulation of causes that will result in physical and mental suffering are these 10 non-virtues. So through abandoning these, through not engaging in these physical, mental or verbal acts, one is no longer accumulating causes for further suffering. And how to abandon them? Well, it's to engage in activities that are contrary or to opposite to those. In other words, the 10 virtuous actions. And if one practices these or engages in these, then one serves two results, serves two purposes. Because one is engaging in the opposite of these non-virtuous activities, one cannot be engaging in the non-virtuous activities. So therefore, one has abandoned engaging in these harmful activities. And moreover, because one is not just avoiding harmful activity, but one is engaging in the opposite, virtuous activities, one is accumulating causes that will lead to the result of physical and mental happiness. So therefore, the skillful means is through engaging in the accumulation or the practice of the 10 virtuous actions that one not only abandons non-virtue, but one also accumulates the causes for happiness.
And the Miguel Chu Meva Misuelia and the Kewachu Tubuina, and the Kewachu de Carelamna, the G Miguel Chushegi shared Doksho de G Miguel Luigi Miguel Sumshero, Tina Luki Hosum Likide, and the Nagi Miguel Shishero, Di Dokshola Nagi Kewashili. Then Yigi Miguel Sumshe Doksho and Yigi Miguel Kewa Sumche Chushagorwa. Jazan Dene Chuinzan. That number, Luigi Miguel Sumi Dorsho de Garelane, and Luigi Miguel Chick the Soul, Luigi when a sort of the Cezanne Luigi, sort of Luigi when a sort of me, send a sort of Tomba, Bambi, Bamba, sort of Tombache, and I go Casore, and Loim Chickime, Seada, and Luigi Kumakume Assembly, did Kumakume Assembly, Tomba, some not da, and Dream Gasore, sort of me Assembly, some law. And Loim Jigme Simbe Samlodi, D. Samlodi, Jigme Simbe Samlodi, Nanjuki Nyam Lataji Wore. D. Latagina and Yamenchi Wore. Jazadina, so Jigme, Sambe Samlochi, Nanjuki, Guy and Yudu, and Luyu with a Soche, Guy, Sochi Ungo Mare. Then he Loim Jigme Simbe Samluchena and Loim Ling Mare. Jazangin, Kumakume Simbe Samlodi Nanjuki in the Yobana, Kumaku Mare. Deneza Kumakume. So me and Loim Chigme Sembe Samlo Yudu, Lugune, Sojabada, Majimba Lemba, Lom Jedi, Yungoma. Tisan di Gayala, Manjuki, Sum Dinyamchi.
The Lusum Chikosum Pimpa, Yamakan These 10 virtuous actions then are the opposite to the 10 non-virtuous. So they're the same 3 relating to physical activities, the same 4 relating to verbal activities, and the same 3 relating to mental activities. So to look briefly at what is meant by the 10 virtuous actions in relation to the physical activities. So here, it primarily comes down to developing an attitude or a mind of restraint. So this is where one makes a firm and definite commitment to not kill, a firm and definite commitment to not steal, a firm and definite commitment not to engage in sexual misconduct. And here, the more this mind of restraint is developed, the more powerful effect that mind will be able to have on restraining one. So if one is perhaps here a little bit inspired and make the commitment, I will not engage in these 3 activities, that's fine, that's good to do. But if one leaves it just at that, it's going to be of a relatively weak strength. But if one trains in this, in other words, if one develops this way of thinking, that where you develop a strength and determination not to engage in these harmful behaviors, then this virtuous mind will be that much more powerful. And then, when one is faced, when one is in a situation where one may engage in these activities, one is much more likely to be able to easily restrain oneself and do so with a happy, positive and virtuous mind.
ane pasu mi tukshin je chama chigme sembe samlo dia gyaware dichi samlo dia na chama de kumare dene ane jiro ngakya se de donda mebe geshe dama milye ji she de chigme sembe samlo chuna ane ngakya de yungo marwa dene 직숙 세야 돼. 셴네 직숙 세야 다오기는 시마 삼배 삼로 주나 직숙 연구 말. 제산디 독조 시딩한 적이 돔샤바이나 아니 나고는 미겨시 와요. 마. 제산 안주 나고는 미겨 모양하게 마향이 탑시대 가르치 오라서는 니 삼로 때 가서 삼로 나올래야 야네 야도 삼 당제디 아니 숙처 다야 돼.
In relation to the four verbal non-virtuous actions which are to be abandoned. So this is the same way, the same as we've just heard. The way to engage in the virtuous actions of speech is through making this firm and definite commitment to not engage in non-virtuous speech. So this once again is developing a mind of restraint. So through making this commitment that one will not engage in lying or divisive speech or harsh speech or meaningless speech, and making this commitment, then it will have the result, one not engaging in this non-virtue, and secondly, this very mind of restraint is a virtuous mind, and therefore accumulates a virtue or good karma. So the method or the technique here is to generate a mind of restraint relating to how the speech that we engage in, the way we communicate with others. And again, for this to be effective, just having the occasional thought or the mere wish that, oh, it's better not to lie, or it's good not to lie, or I hope I don't lie again, that on its own will accumulate a relatively small amount of virtue and have a relatively weak impact of restraint on our way we communicate with others. But the more that one develops this way of thinking in meditation, and trains in this way of thinking again and again, then the commitment becomes stronger. One sees ever more clearly the faults and the undesired results that come from physical or verbal non-virtuous behavior, leading to the stronger wish not to engage in such behavior. And here, the mind of restraint is much stronger, so then one is far less likely to engage in non-virtuous speech. And also this mind of restraint is a virtuous mind, and therefore far more virtue is created. So the method, the technique here in relation to speech is the same technique as with our physical activities.
가서 납심세 뇌베삼바 샬랴 뇌베삼비 삼로티기 독쇼데 아니 가서 샬랴 안 잠제삼들와 잠제삼라 샬랴 펜바지기 샬랴 잠바 저외 삼바 나와나 샬랴 뇌베삼바를 리마레 디게와레 다 납심세디 미겨라 디 독쇼들라 다 랑로 톱당 랑로 왕마와 톱당 메비기 미 잘라다 디스니 미추 네 제라고 선배 진짜 되게 말해 선배 삼로다나 디 개와차로와
디양케게나
랑랑 톱단 메비 잘라 줘로와나 미구마는 소스 미절라 어디 가라나서 소소 톱단 메와 질레 라나 삼바다 이 납심 차로와 니 코에 잘라는 가라 지라고 선배나 제삼 랑기 유마사 베기 유마사 랑라 톱단 메바디 니 디샹다 지라다 되바디 라야게 되바디 something me digi me kin digmare some soyadi dadi gewa charo kurwa ine lokta sayadi ane jige awsan ye da le gyunde sayadi sosugi milia shenle neba da dibe jeba na rala dumaya da le jebu na bashligiri jisanga du yuga ne sabe ne tele tene ne jebu tende ligiri yunguri sambe samta ba na le gyunde la lokta sayada ane sangye sayadi yore saybi nang jugi 다 삼다바나 디소네 lokta리 메바 차르고라 간실레 lokta 가야 되라 직 저기 다시 레규도 요 말에서 배삼로 lokta 있나 니 독초라 규텔라 규치 주베나 텔레든 제부텐데 레그리 삼베 삼베나 다디 개와 차르와 규텔라 되네 레그리 삼베 삼로지나.
And in terms of the mental restraining from the three mental non-virtues, the process is the same. One needs to cultivate mental virtuous activities or minds. So in terms of the mind of covetousness, so here one needs to develop a mind of restraint, making the commitment that it is inappropriate, it is wrong to desire what others have, because that way of thinking, when it's strong, it can lead to me deceiving others, taking advantage of others, stealing from others, trying to commit fraud to get what others have. So therefore, seeing the faults of this way of acting and committing not to do so is creating a mind of restraint, and this then is a virtuous mind. And then similarly with the mind of harmful intent. So harmful intent is a mind that wants harm to come to others. So the virtuous mind that is opposite to this are minds of love and compassion, minds that want to be of benefit to others, wanting others to experience happiness, wanting others to be freed of problems and difficulties. So developing these minds of love and compassion, then they are contrary to the mind of harmful intent. They'll prevent the rise of the mind of harmful intent, and moreover, they lead to the accumulation of virtue, because these very minds themselves are in their nature virtuous. And then in terms of the non-virtuous mind of wrong views. So here, by the time one has come to this point and accepted that these other non-virtuous behaviors need to be turned away from and rather virtuous behaviors need to be engaged in, quite clearly there's an acceptance of the law of cause and effect. There's an acceptance that through accumulating certain causes, certain results come. So therefore one has already accumulated this virtuous mind of a correct view through turning away from a wrong view. And then it becomes much easier to turn away from other wrong views, like saying, Buddhas or omniscient beings do not exist, because having accepted this core teaching of the Buddha, one is much more likely to accept that this attainment of the state of a Buddha is possible. So in this way, through having gone through the thought process that has led one to develop the minds of restraint that will abandon the 10 non-virtuous actions and rather develop virtuous ways of thinking, then one abandons wrong views.
대신에 갈라서 미개와 세다 미개와 주사 개와 주세 이게 차상 삼는다다 용고래라로 아직 간스 용고래라나 마음 주기 리주권에 안에 지게 소줘바다 구마구와 안에 지게 로임제하다 나유권에 주인 참아 지수시하다 제 차상 간에 지금 유가를 자와 셈 삼다나 간에 돌리그러스네 저 되샤시다 디무숨데 레고래 되샤시다 디무숨데 차상 안 주기라 콩로지나 되샤스 콩로지면은 아니 시다스 콩로지여베나 아니 가르서 콩로사야도 만수 삼나 콩로사야도 아니 칸 봐. 밀리아 측수시야다. 아니 측수를 뇌하게 기시용도 아니 되네기 안 되게 숙체셔도 콩로 숙체셔도 안 봐. 쇠야다. 미쇠야다. 소주에신 소주야다. 아니 되네 이터네 아니 콩로에나 콩로 될라 되네 아니 셴리아 측수시야다. 신규 소주발라서 루유고네 미가와다 나유고네 미가와 이유고네 혼로여반자 샬레 뉴베 삼바디어로 와서 미가와 디소 안에 콩로를 들리고래
Dana kenan yomon niki kola sumpi.
Control jigisho.
Dan dojo.
Geshe sheda timusum yorwa. Chisam control le tene control yorwa yanza kadali gorsene so chue ya dan tsusup she ya dan shena nube sambati ki ligo.
If you want to summarize these 10 non-virtuous actions and their opposing 10 virtuous actions, they all come down to a way of thinking. So if 2 groups of 10 are a bit long, we can summarize this just into one's way of thinking, being either virtuous or non-virtuous. So whether, in terms of the non-virtues, it's clear that the mental 3 are mental, but so too are the physical activities and the verbal activities. These too come from motivating minds. And if we were to look at the primary minds which motivate non-virtuous actions, they are minds of ignorance, attachment, and anger. So the mind of anger, for example, depending on the strength of the mind of anger, depends on the strength of the resulting physical or verbal behavior. So it's the mind of anger that leads to the non-virtuous mind of harmful intent. And when this mind is expressed, it can be expressed in harming beings or even killing them. It can be expressed through our way of speaking, of course, through speaking to others in a harsh manner, and so forth. So from the starting point of this mind of anger, then physical and verbal negative activities are engaged in. And depending on the strength of the mind of anger, whether it's something mild or something full-blown, that then will have an impact on whether it is this mind is expressed verbally and physically, and how strongly it is expressed.
And loyam jala sopa. Now you go ne Juisha, Chama Shada, Nahadi Ligura, and then you go ne Napsim said Ligura, Napsim Ligura.
And from a starting point of the mind of attachment comes various other related non-virtuous minds, such as covetousness. And if this then is acted on, it will be acted on in a physical way or a verbal way. So we may lie to others, we may deceive others, we may engage in speech that is divisive. Also, we may engage in activities such as sexual misconduct or stealing. So these all come from a mind of attachment. And again, depending on the strength of this desire or this attachment, will be the strength of the resulting other minds, as well as the strength of the resulting speech and physical activities.
지게 톱시에 구멍구야다 안에 구멍구 안에 약선 쇼고가 다야다 니네기 토네 안에 주의시야다 안에 지금 거로 아 지금 차와 주연의 소소 미직래 소소 미니 소소리아 거부제와 지다 미전다리아 거부제는 거기 매바이나 얘네 아직 소소리아 거부제기 차와 요반자 디바라들이야 주신자다로와 어디 되고 미디야 보면 주신자 미 마찬가지야다 언제네 중고로와 차와라 되네 되네 로임지야 되네 주의 되네 아직 차고 온게 아직 이제다 말이지 나게 되게 되리고와 되네 참 이제서 근데 차고 오면서 다니고와 제가 녀몽바 차발라 되네 게 연구를 제가 삼을 당당 되네 되고와
From minds such as attachment, then one can easily engage in meaningless speech, which there's this idle chatter which can consume so much of our time. Also, if through the mind of attachment, if we desire someone else's partner, and this person doesn't particularly like us but prefers, of course, their own partner, then through the mind of attachment, we may try to divide two people so as to fulfill this mind of attachment. And likewise, again, from the basis of the mind of attachment, desiring what someone else has, then when this mind is strong and this mind of covetousness is then expressed, then one will make plans so as to perhaps either steal what someone else has, or to defraud them of what they have, or to deceive them, cheat them in some way to get what they have. So these strong forms of non-virtuous behavior come from the starting point of a mind and the mind of attachment. And the third mind we pointed to, this is the mind of ignorance. So here we could say this is a mind that is ignorant, misunderstands, or a mind that doesn't understand reality or how things work. So we can understand this here in the context, we can understand this here, that through not understanding what results come from particular ways of thinking, ways of speaking, ways of acting, one engages willingly, wholeheartedly in actions that lead to suffering results. So people then engage in, for example, killing, without realizing the suffering that will follow from this. So this is the role that ignorance plays here. So in brief, when we think of these 10 non-virtuous actions, they come from a mistaken way of thinking, a way of thinking that is dominated by minds of ignorance, of anger, of attachment. And it's from a starting point of these three minds that further non-virtuous minds arise, and then these may be expressed, if they're strong, through our verbal communication or our physical activities.
Mangpuru samdana mangara chara pene ngagi kone kyasa shikme tun shikme SMP samlo shetta dene luju kone soju shikme SMP samda dene samdana dene samlo rimba ro che mangpuru tangro chakwa dene yenza dene ki rimba mangpuru tangmo che ko tu duine samda sha pene tangan ju dungada luju dungada semji kanga yaya ki gyumigo jubo de pa kaya lia and some Kanistan Gahore Labna and Gawachu Samdaya and Kanistan Gorelanda to Dushevena and Zugi Dingeri Luna Yusum Yukone Shell and Neve Chawa Sawan Chimi and some of the thing on the Shovenia Lane and Gidi in a Miniba and Gidi in a Yane Yandodi Luna Yusum Yukone Shell and Neve Chawa Sawachin me some of Chivena di Dombe Samba. Domsen Sutim Soya, Luna Yusum Yugan, Sutim Soasi or this one, this some of the Yobana down in our Ganashi me, Lugu Sosu me, Tunshi me, said, in some damn watch. Lugu Gone, I shall Lu, Yusum Caniton, and I shall never Jawas, Zawanachi me, some of Dina. This some loading on Yane, Yando Yane, some, this some load Timburu suit was so correct. She's a ding on to get. The muting are some Nana, Mangachi, legal at the Gabriel, Tunba Sheva, the Dugu, or the Shuveda, or Dami, Luna is Michel, Tunshi, Luna is Michel, and Chigi, some loading at the Kogo Omar, Mangashella. In the other, Luna is Michel, and Duba Majeva, Mangachi, Nimipolia, Shalia, Jackson, Shigo, Mar, Monsieur, Kumago, the Chigo Martina, and Denigi, some loading Kogo, Denigi, some local quality, Geshe Thubten. Dichiku some Tashabane, Digi, Luna is Michel, and never Jimmy, some Yuvachi, Yena, and Shehelia, Kohop, Yudica, never check, Copleo, Dinina, and you or dying he did Jimmy, some Tasa, that did the Awamas need never jig mare. Chesan denigi, Mazo Lugi, Lunga Yusum Miguel, Jusung de Tambo, Garasam Dons, Lunga Yus Michel, never jig me, and did some of the education.
The main cause then for the suffering that we experience, whether physical or mental, is having engaged in the past in these 10 non-virtuous actions. So the cause of our suffering is then that we have not restrained from these 10 non-virtues in the past. So this is what we now need to commit to doing, to abandon these 10 non-virtues through cultivating their opposite minds, through cultivating these minds of restraint. But if one prefers to do this in a very abbreviated way rather than a more elaborate way, where the elaborate way would be to meditate on the faults of each of the 10 non-virtues, giving rise to the strong wish not to engage in them, and then meditate on the benefits of the 10 virtues and commit to engaging in those. If that doesn't appeal, or one doesn't have the time, the way that one can still effectively change one's physical and mental behavior is through meditating on just one key point. And that key point is how one would summarize this presentation, and that is, every morning when you wake up and you engage in your morning meditation practice, to make the commitment that today, at all times, I will ensure that I do not engage in any harmful activities, activities that bring harm to anyone, and activities, whether they are physical activities, verbal activities, or even mental activities. So one makes this commitment to cultivate and ensure that this mind of restraint dominates. One does this in one's morning meditation, and then throughout the day, remind yourself of this. Whenever you have just a few moments, take those few moments and remind yourself of the commitment that you made in the morning meditation. To make sure that one's physical activities, one's way of speaking, and the minds that guide or control our activities, these will not bring any harm to others. And then this then is the practice of ethical conduct. It is the mind of restraint. And the more stable, more powerful this mind is, the greater of an impact it will have on our behavior. So when we heard about these non-virtuous activities before, there'll be many there that you heard and thought, I never engage in these, or there's some that are only very rarely engage in. And that certainly will be the case for all of you, I'd imagine. But nevertheless, one needs to, there is great benefit in still making a firm commitment not to engage in these activities, even if one generally doesn't. Because through strengthening this mind of restraint and making it ever more stable, then when one finds oneself in a situation where it may seem easier to engage in one of these non-virtuous activities, or one may even think it's beneficial or preferable to do so, having cultivated a stable, a solid mind of restraint previously, it will be much easier then to keep our ethical conduct, to practice ethics, and to refrain at those times from engaging in behavior that would bring harm.
한국 사람들 야우슈도 삼제 제주에 닝아요 와다 아니 니나시래 아니 지게 잘라지 미지 라바체 지금 무릎을 사바시 아주 통화이네 넘준네 소소 어당이 현재 뇌배 저와 직면에서 삼당한디 어디 지가 미지게 잘라서 무이망고 사샤 내는 내는 콜이야 강아 가지 지기를 콜 강아 지기를 대파 떼어라 가서 떼어서 파 제게 덮시게 지기로 와 아니 되네 삼마다데 어디지 딜라시 디사샤 내가 캡상을 삼제 소소 비슷하게 지기로 와 진짜 디 삼로 당한 마당이디 개발로 지디네 용어로 뺏어놓은 쉬워이나
What is the difference then in terms of likely behavior if someone has or has not cultivated this mind of restraint, cultivated an ethical outlook or not? So I'm sure everyone here doesn't steal or engage in taking what doesn't belong to themselves. But if one doesn't do that based on previously accumulated, a previously developed mind of restraint, then when an opportunity comes to take something that doesn't belong to oneself, one is not going to do so because of this prior cultivation. But on the other hand, if someone who would generally be considered an honest person, and someone who doesn't steal at all, is faced with a situation where they can, but because they have not developed a mind of restraint, a stable mind of restraint previously, they may well take that opportunity. So, for example, if someone finds a large sum of money, now it's found out on the road somewhere, it's a sum of money of some value. So either someone will think, oh, I've got lucky. This has been lost, but this clearly has been lost. It has no owner, it's just here. I've got lucky. This is now mine. So this is generally an honest person, but now they're taking something that doesn't belong to them, and they're joyously accepting it for themselves. Another person has cultivated in meditation a strong and stable mind of restraint, will have the same opportunity, see this money, and the thought that will naturally arise for them is, someone has lost something that is of great value to them, something that they perhaps went through a lot of hardship to accumulate, now may be experiencing a lot of mental anguish having lost, or may be in trouble about and have some problems. And concern will be for the rightful owner. And then this person will not for a moment conceive this found money as potentially theirs, or as their good luck, but or rather their mental energy will go towards, how can I find the rightful owner? How can I ensure that this is returned to the person who lost it and now is suffering, is worried about having lost it? So this different response to the same situation depends on the strength of a previously accumulated mind of restraint.
안에 되샤 셰단 디무숨레 드네 리고라 인자 당한조 컨트롤 셰단스 컨트롤 디기 매버스야 디님보 때디 가르 잠당 거스는 안돼 셰리아 잠제 삼다래 셰리아 저와다 잠바 잠베 샤심제 담저라 대화데 대나 대화데 대고도 심제기 동안에 세고도 선배게 심제 담제 대화데 대나 선배 셰 심제디기 동하다 자나 선배 셰리아 잠지게 삼다나 先来空着几个嘛，先来那边三百几个嘛的，就咱先来那边三百空着，咱那边什么的呢？里头呢，先来那边另外一个加瓦的那个嘛的，就咱今年咱这个什么的这个，他这个呀，学会呢，这零个先呀，偏别加瓦，干呢，主要呢，主要一个特别积极这边，先什么叫他们家的电话的电话的，东华的查无都。 자와 쇼 선배 제심전에 대화에 되나 선배 삼로지나 현심전에 동화에 되나 선배 삼대 잠바다 제와 삼다 인장이 현 디기 주야다 현이 동화세야 자와 내가 가는 시대나 직직인 선배가 삼다와 있나 and this some of the Anzuki, Yane, Yado, some of the Shuche, Gazet, Tantubine, and the Shell and Nubis Samba, Condrosia de Malaya, Nubis Samba Malaya, the Keva in Gore.
Earlier we mentioned how all the suffering that we experience comes from causes that we have accumulated, and those causes come about whether those causes are accumulated through physical activity, verbal activity, or mental activity. They come from a base of minds of attachment, or of anger, or of ignorance. So we've just spoken about the faults of attachment and the need to develop a mind of ethical mind, a mind of restraint in relation to attachment, and likewise with anger. So the minds which are the opposite to anger are minds of love and compassion. So if oneself is dominated by minds such as love and compassion, minds of anger will not be able to arise. And the stronger our love and compassion, the subtler forms of anger, such as frustration or annoyance, even those wouldn't arise. So the way, in a very brief form, to develop minds of love and compassion, or to think how all beings are exactly the same in us, as us, as wanting, all beings are exactly the same as us, in that they only want to experience happiness and don't want to experience any suffering or problems or difficulties at all. And we're using this as a starting point. We then we then can commit to not bringing any further problems and difficulties into the lives of others. Because this is exactly what we want to experience from others too. We don't want others to bring problems into our life because we have enough. And likewise now, we commit not to harm others, to communicate, to interact with others in a way that doesn't bring any harm. And furthermore, just in the same way that we want to only interact with people who relate to us in a positive and a way that is beneficial, we make this commitment that others being the same as us, we'll interact with others in a way that is dominated by a gentle approach, a kind-hearted approach, and try to, at the very least, not bring harm or difficulty into the lives of others. And where we can, within our capacity, we will help others and be of benefit to others. So this way of thinking is something that we all can do. We already have these seeds of love and compassion. We have, as part of our personalities, minds of love and minds of compassion. The more time we put in our meditation to develop these minds that we have and make our minds of love stronger and our minds of compassion ever stronger, then they will start to dominate our way of thinking and start to become a natural or more part of our personality. So that when we encounter problems and difficulties, we encounter rather unwanted situations, our natural response is a gentle response. Our natural response is minds such as love and compassion. And in this way then, minds such as anger or their subtler relatives of anger, such as frustration and annoyance, even these don't arise. And in this way, not only do we not bring harm to others, but we are able to be of benefit to others.
Sanjiki, da Sunshibi, Chelia, and the chickens to Tebache, Tele, and Ganesh Chene, and Nisudi Shimbache did it. Chesa, to get Yomo, Desha, Caneli, Timuk, Canesi, Timu said, we Nisugi, Mashiva de Wa, Chesa, we Nisudi, Shimba Chevala, called Yana, and the Eurochine, Chishanchile, Labche, Shingol, Madame Malam, Shingo, Dinashi, and Karine out the Lega Karina, Chishanchile, Labche, Shingudua, Dinashi, we Nisugi, Gudela, Gudenichile, Denis Yungore, to Gudenisa, Jebu Denis Yungore, Sepe, we Nisu Shinia, and together, the Shung, San Jemnet, Sun Shebi, Che, Nalia, Sunshaba, the Denigit, Delia, Tebache, Cheva, 퇴네 최년제 안델야 삼다 제바제들이 지산 제바제도 안능의 수도 하고도 그래 지산 하고도 디물라는 마신 받으래 지산 니의 수도 제바제 하고도 마신 받이 매바 신바 이거 신그로 와 지산 내내게 신바 있나 아니 착화 깨나 아니 착화 사대 간스 매바서 그래 삼로 간스 땅고를 세 땅나디게 차상 아니 착화기도 어썸네 된시 땅나 착화기도 가고 그래 내내 땅나 땅고를 세비게 착비게 삼노다나 가상한테 차상한테는 막 야하고도 그러와 지상 내수기 신바에나 되네 디모세도 그래 착바디게 가야라야 아니 저기 최리야 아니 퇴바제 안디 돈달라 삼당 제바제야 되래 지상 되네 제바에나 아니 고 디모다 아니 야샤디 쇼촌다도 그래.
And the third key mind that from which all our suffering comes is that of ignorance. So ignorance then is the ignorance with regard to reality, but we can, in this context, we can understand ignorance as being a not knowing. So if we don't know, if we haven't come to understand something, we are ignorant about it, we don't know about it. So the antidote, or the way to overcome ignorance from which so many problems that we experience come, is to develop our understanding of reality. And this would be done through developing our understanding of the Buddha Dharma, through receiving teachings on Buddha Dharma, through studying those teachings, and thereby coming to know and to understand reality, coming to know and understand the inner workings of our own minds. So, for example, if we are ignorant to the law of cause and effect, we will not be able to accumulate the appropriate causes for happiness and eliminate the causes that would otherwise lead to suffering. So what we need, amongst a vast array of subjects in the Buddha Dharma, we need to come to understand the workings of our mind in great detail. So we've heard that from attachment, we engage in the mind of attachment, through the mind of attachment, we accumulate the causes for suffering. Through the minds of anger, we accumulate the causes of suffering, likewise with ignorance. So we need to come to understand very clearly what is meant by, say, attachment. What are the causes for the arisal of attachment? How to eliminate attachment? And likewise for anger and ignorance. And in this way, we're accumulating knowledge, we're coming to understand the Buddha Dharma better, and then in this way we are eliminating our ignorance, and we are able to eliminate all other faults that lead to suffering, and accumulate causes that lead to our longed for happiness. So therefore, coming to receiving teachings and studying and coming to understand the Buddha Dharma is how we eliminate ignorance.
And the Jebachi, you got related in the Jebuka Jungudu. Chesan, you didn't serve and didn't Jebachi, or some of the Netavan, you didn't Jebuduma, didn't Leomudua. Then you didn't sometimes some of the Neta do Chevena, you didn't do Della dinner Jebu, the hot league to us big. The Nigin is the how going to do, the Nanzuki, the Yagi, Tepsi de Jemua, the Nigga Duma Gudipa, or the Chim Della, the Jebuduma league to us big. Some Chesan Denigim. Sanji to the Jebache, Denjig, Jixil,Ganistin Liudu,Ganistin Liudu, Tugudu, Gudi, Guganillet, and some town that Jebuganis lives, Denjig and Namja some died today. She's on Denig, some Denjig and Namja side, Bemas a Geshimo Shawara. She's on Denig, Denjig and Namja some died, called Udig, Muini Sudi, Manzu Jebache, the Muin is a Hago. Muin is a Hago, machine brigade, they see. Timusem, machine, but Momba, the Hamwadi, Doro. Chesa dine Doro, when she did, Digi to Tadi Shingore, Gama said Tadi Shingore, Chesa, Denis at Sindri Benadaro, Nero China, Di Nazi de Kanchungudu, you got as you make, and as you call it, can say who to send big, to Cheva, Tami Tajolia, that you didn't lead you didn't ever say that another member child something. The Niki Java in the Conjuge, Tamaha, Menju, Neta to go, or dinner, Jibaro, some of the Tanta Tone, Ganga Lady, some of the Tanta Tone, Jeva, or the next some Dana Dunga in the Ganga Digua, some of the Danish Dana and the Digi to Hudua assembly. Needs to how go do, then I'm to get Digi to some of the Digi to watch as a Denisa, Dendiki Java, San Chile, Turbache. 나고 간에 지용도 간에 퇴바체 되는 제바체 퇴비 된디 봐 삼나 다야지 게마시 게시 뭐 채고 된디게 남자 삼 다야 채고.
Right at the start of this talk, I mentioned the concept of dependence arising, how one thing comes about independent on another. And we've spoken throughout this talk about how our desired happiness comes about independence on something else, namely the appropriate causes, the many causes, and likewise unwanted physical mental suffering. This too comes about independence on a vast number of causes. So throughout our talk we've looked at, we've gained knowledge on what these causes are that lead to these results, and we have now through this knowledge, we have now a greater ability to identify what we do need to engage in and what we do need to abandon. So the accumulation of knowledge is important because through acquiring knowledge, we can utilize this in our meditation to analyze better. And having knowledge, our analysis is much deeper and is in accordance with reality. And then coming to understand this relationship of dependency, this will give us great strength of mind. We will want to accumulate causes that lead to the result that we want to experience. We will also readily want to turn away from behavior or a way of thinking that perhaps seemed very normal to us before, but we realize now is harmful to us. It's a way of thinking that actually just ends up in us being unhappy. So understanding this whole production of causality through understanding dependency is extremely important because it gives us the strength of mind to want to engage in activities that lead to happiness and will willingly break habits that actually lead to unwanted suffering. This investigation of reality based on knowledge serves to eliminate our ignorance and leads us to accumulate the causes for lasting happiness. So this process that I've described here is something that's not unique to the Buddha Dharma. I'm sure many of you have heard about this process perhaps in other contexts. So for example, when we're ill, we go and see a doctor. And the doctor immediately investigates, asks us a number of questions, maybe prods us a little bit, and comes to, and when has done some investigation, then we'll be able to present a diagnosis and then prescribe the right medication in the right quantity for the right period of time. And preceding that, scientists will have as a goal the elimination of a particular illness, and to be able to eliminate that, they have to study it well, investigate it well. And through investigating it, they will understand its innermost workings, its subtle workings, and understanding the subtle workings, they can apply other knowledge they have accumulated so as to create an antidote to eliminate that illness. And this is exactly the same process that we're doing in relation to our mind through acquiring knowledge, through receiving teachings and studying the Buddha Dharma, and then applying this through meditation. And in this way, slowly over time, we change our way of thinking, and we develop new virtuous habits, and we weaken and eventually eliminate the ways of thinking and behaving which actually lead to suffering and problems. So within all of this, a key presentation to come to understand well is that of dependent arising. It's through knowing this very well that we can much more effectively turn away from the causes of suffering and accumulate the causes of physical and mental happiness.
Dandala, Mazuki, Luki, Semki, Dunga, Sea, and Luki Kama Sea, and to Tiki Juviadi, and Gudi Kiaware, and Dunga Yaki Gudi Mikaware, Chesa Deniza Mikawa said, Gabure, and Tiki Kasakiawa said, Sutuku, Shirvada, Tadonala, Denik Jumodi, and another sometime the Kalistangu said that the Sheva Nation. Dondala Tireda, Majuki, Shogun Ba, Chitine, sometimes Luma Yusum Yuganation, and Nubich was said, Tawing the Chigme, Sambiki, that Duda number, Kanga Kanishin and Shannon, Nubich was said, Tawing Chigme, Sambi, this some loading on Yana Yadu D, Dimbus education with Chikre. Then Nibachilla and his hand penbigata, Chig, Rangi, Shell penbigation, Chasa, Deva together. Dunga Sealiangi, Shen Dunga Gentam, Dewa Tukudu, Shenam Dewa the Dena, Sembe Samlochita, Shen Sam Shen Chasa Dunga the Dana, Sembe Samlochita, Di Ni Shelia Pebi Jawakadi, Dubin Sembi, Denig Samlodi, Nibadi, some Dini died, need share. Da Sumba della Ananjuki, Jiki, Lamatang, Deniki, and Chiki, the Sanji, Sunshapiki, and Dep Road, the lawyer, the Nigger Church, the Nigger Sosuki, that the Nigger Shuiche, and Denalia, Donadiki Patsu, Yen, and Arjugia, Donala sometime, or the Denjiki Nabjadi, Denis sometime, Denis League, Denis sometime, the league was me. That you do Chichevache, and Arjugi, Muinisuki, Kanish do, said the Hawaii, Donala, Chevache, that this something Arjugi, that the thing is shaggy, sometime I did it. Then this sometime. 당한 저기 기디나 되게 삼는 셴래 뇌비 자와 지금 메시베 삼는 지다 셴래 팬비게 대화데 대바다 동화단 자야 팬비 자와 지기 삼베 삼는 지 되게 기디나 되게 여바이나 안 세데레 소시네 셈키우다 룰네 네나서 뉴알레 아니 미션다이네 소소고 시간 망알리게래 아니 미션레 마 네비기마 팽교래 Shannon never seen me some car sometimes, Shannon never go on my can't on my day, and Shelley Pembe Java got to the chicken some shade, some deer by the social account to Chitu Shannon Pembache to re, then Shannon Pembache to the Shannon Pico, just a Russian Nigal Peggy, Nada, Luma Yusum Gione, gave us a tiny dire, do some time, Luma Yusum Yugane, Gavali water. Do some time, Luma Yusum Yugane, Migawadi, Gagore, Chesa, Denisa. That said, Dene, dear Yapon, Digi, Jehu, the Jordan, Yawa Chimala, and Anzuki, Subuine Yaga, Chike, Yaga, Nena, Kanga, Yadi, then the Chakore, just a deed in Yawa Chimala, Digi, two water, just Anzuki, the English, it's all sometimes disum dirishada.
Just to then briefly summarize what we spoke about this afternoon. So we all desire to experience only physical and mental happiness and no problems and difficulties at all. So these results, one being wanted and one being unwanted, come from causes. So this is the presentation on cause and effect, or karma. And from virtuous causes lead to desired happy results. From non-virtuous causes, and we looked at the 10 today, lead to suffering results. So this presentation on karma is something that's important to understand, and the best way to reflect on this is how independent on something else comes about. So that refers to the presentation on dependent arising, which in itself is the most amazing and transformative meditation. And we can utilize it even in this context through being aware that through specific causes, specific results will come about. So to include what you've heard today in your daily meditation practice, then as was mentioned in this talk, when you get up in the morning, you make the commitment that today, no matter what situation I encounter, you can think ahead to who you're likely to meet, what situations you're likely to be in that day, and make the commitment that I will not harm others, not through my behavior, my way of speaking, or even allow negative or harmful minds to dominate. So this is the first step, and it's a crucial step. The second one that follows from this is then knowing that others are just like me and wanting to experience only happiness and to be freed from problems and difficulties. I commit to wherever I can bring happiness to others, wherever I can help others, I will do so. And certainly, I will ensure that I don't bring any harm into their lives. So this then is the second step. The first was to commit to not harming, and the second is to be of benefit to others. And then, if one has or is receiving teachings also on dependence arising, one can utilize this knowledge that you've acquired through teachings on dependence arising in a third step, which is to think about reality through dependence arising. How do things exist in terms of reality? So if one does engage in this meditation, especially if it's not just done now and again, but repeatedly over a sustained period, then one will be developing stronger virtuous habits, weakening one's non-virtuous habits. And this will lead to greater mental peace and happiness for oneself in this very life, and will also lead to, and mental happiness also has an impact on one's own physical state. So therefore one experiences results for oneself in this very life. Moreover, through developing our way of thinking, this naturally, even without trying, leads to a change in the way we interact with others. We will notice within ourselves the way that we interact with others, the way that we respond to events is starting to change. So this is a very clear way that we can see the impact that our meditation is having, and we can be sure that it is having a beneficial impact on the lives of others. We are bringing happiness into the lives of others through being through being a helpful person. We're bringing happiness into the lives of others through our commitment not to harm them in any way. And this then, of course, leads to better relations with others. In fact, it leads to our relationships with others being transformed. So through meditating in this way repeatedly over a sustained period, leads not only to happiness for ourselves in this very life, but for others as well. And through accumulating these virtuous minds and abandoning all harmful ways of thinking, this leads to the accumulation of far fewer negative imprints and powerful virtuous imprints. And these two would be done simultaneously if one meditates in the way that I've mentioned here. And then in our future lives, we will experience the ripening results of these karmic imprints. And that will ensure that we have greater intelligence and our physical health is good. And in brief, we will experience less problems and greater happiness in our future lives as well. Atisha, you want to start? Okay. So then thank you. I've gone a little bit over time, so sorry for that. So we probably can't really take questions because it's a bit late, but thank you very much.